honor to nominate my best friend and husband as our next Minnesota governor, Phillip Parrish. In our house, I'm the Admiral. You see, I've been a military spouse for more than 30 years. My late husband passed away suddenly in 2004, and by God's providence and blessing, I met Phillip again in 2009. I know what integrity and courage look like, and I can attest that Phillip is one of the most loving, passionate, and caring and honest people that I know. Phillip often tells our children what integrity is. It's doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Phillip lives by this each and every day. How refreshing would that be to have someone leading us at the Capitol with this principle as their core? I am proud to stand on stage with Team Parrish and nominate Phillip Parrish to be our next governor.
Hi, I'm Connie Thorpe, and I have the privilege of being the campaign manager for Phillip Parrish and Team Parrish. So, Phillip Parrish, what to say? Phil Will is our slogan, but it's not just a slogan, it's a commitment. We need a strong voice, yet compassionate, a true believer of what Minnesota can be and accomplish, along with Donald Trump as the commander-in-chief of our country. Let's make Minnesota great again. Phil is a leader. Phil is honest. Phil is a statesman. Phil has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution as an officer in the Navy Reserves for the last 20 years. Are we ready for a governor who will speak the truth? Who will have the courage to say no to omnibus bills? No to more spending. No to the death tax. No to Met Council. No to Common Core. And last but not least, no to illegal immigration and refugee resettlement. Then let me nominate Phillip C. Parrish to be our next governor of Minnesota.
All right. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? I haven't even paid attention to the time. Okay, I'm Phillip Parrish, and I want to be the next governor of Minnesota. Can we handle that? All right. I'm willing and ready to start fighting right now today. I'm going to be fighting for our children. I'm going to be fighting for our grandchildren and their children. I will die fighting if I must to protect the United States Constitution and the state of Minnesota. I will put America first. I will put Minnesota first. The voices and concerns of hardworking tax-paying citizens, the Constitution, the rule of law, American law, and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ will guide me every single day. I will stand and speak the truth at all costs, even to my own detriment. I joined this race not as a politician. I joined this race as a private citizen, a patriot, and a freedom-fighting, freedom-loving statesman. I was born and raised here in Minnesota. I went to college at Mankato State University, then Mankato State, now Minnesota State. Yeah, Mavericks, where are you? Yeah, Maverick fits for me, right? Have you looked around the press lately? They don't pay attention to me, do they? Because they don't like Mavericks, do they? But that's okay, because we're going to prove them wrong. So I taught school for K-12 music for 13 years. I eventually became a principal and director of education. I specialize in emotional and behavioral disorders, and I had no idea how useful that was going to be at the Capitol. During those 30 years, this is 30 years, I'm still a licensed principal. I had joined the Navy Reserve as an intelligence specialist. After 9.5 years, I was offered a direct commission as an intelligence officer. I specialize in counterterrorism and foreign policy. What in the world does that have to do with running for governor? I'll tell you what it has to do with it. In my career, I've been following the money. I've been, where's the money coming from? Where's it going to? Who's buying weapons? Who's moving weapons? Who are the people doing harm to us? Over and over and over again, I saw threads connected back to Minnesota. I can't go home at night and just shut the door and pretend that I haven't seen these things or heard these things. I can't do it. My mother taught me too well. Sorry, I mentioned my mom. All right, we'll move on to it. All right, let's get started with some priorities, yeah? Some priorities? All right, thank you. Yeah, because we will. And it's not going to be just me. It's going to be we will. We are going to end our participation in the refugee and immigration resettlement programs. And we're going to end it immediately. We're going to end the exploitation of our social services welfare programs, our Minnesota Nice, our decent Judeo-Christian society. We're going to end the manipulation and exploitation of it today. We're going to end Common Core and the social Marxist indoctrination of our children in our schools. We're going to put teachers back in the classroom. We're going to respect our homeschooling, rich homeschooling heritage in Minnesota. We're going to make sure people have choices, and we're going to make sure that the Education Minnesota administrative overhead is slashed beyond anything they've ever seen. And if you're not helping a child, you're not going to have a job. You're going to be back in the classroom or pack your bags. We will end the death tax, and we will end the taxation of Social Security benefits. Our senior citizens and retirees in Minnesota are being treated like garbage. 30 to 33% of our senior citizens and retirees leave the state. The taxations and taxation schemes, you could argue, actually intend to push them out of the state. You might ask why. We can get to that when I have more time. We're going to end the Met Council. How? I'm simply not going to appoint any of them. The ones that are there are going to leave. And when the legislators come to me and they say, but Mr. Parrish, I'm going to say, your responsibility as elected officials just got put back on your shoulders. I will protect the First and Second Amendment. We will speak freely, and I will defend you as you speak freely. And you want to come and take anyone's gun away from you, or you come and take it from me? Come on, man, just try. We will get the socialist, Marxist, bureaucratic government overreach off the backs of our industries and businesses. We are going to restart the engine of our engineering, our mining, the actual people who make things and build things and work. We're going to get the government overreach off their back. We're going to build roads and bridges, and we're going to make sure we have a broadband infrastructure second to none. And we're going to end the agendas of the very rich, selfish, spoiled people who exploit your tax dollars to pay for their pet projects. We will fight tirelessly to put back in place a private healthcare system back in focus that is focused on care, providing care. Having insurance with no ability to get care is not care. We're going to fight every day to make sure that you actually have the opportunity to receive care. We will protect life from conception to natural death. We'll say that again, from conception to natural death. Here's the big one, folks. We will protect our religious liberties. And I will expose all individuals and groups that exploit this God-given liberty as they hide their true, ill-intended political agendas. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, and I took some heat in the past and I'll take it again because I'm not afraid of this. Islam and Sharia, Islamic law, is the antithesis of the United States Constitution. I'm uniquely qualified for this job. As 30-year professional in education system, I was often ostracized. I know all too well where the waste and the fraud and the ill-intended agendas truly are. As a citizen that struggled for many, many years working 2 to 3 jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and then trying to find money just to buy milk on the way home, I identify with over 80% of Minnesotans that are fighting the same fight every single day and looking for hope and looking for someone to stand up for them. I will stand up for them. As Lieutenant Commander Phillip Charles Parrish in the United States Navy, trained for nearly 20 years in investigating and analyzing and reporting the truth, advising leaders in critical decisions that involved life and death, I can and will personally investigate all 103 programs and agencies in Minnesota, and I promise you, when I get done with them, there's not going to be 103 programs and agencies. And they will not be allowed to enable and manipulate your tax dollars, enabling people to commit fraud anymore. This in mind, I want to take a moment to thank my brothers and sisters in the armed forces. Please rise up and be recognized. And as you rise up, I'm imploring that you remember your oath. You remember your oath that never expires. And you stand with me, and I swear to you, I am never, ever going to fail you. Now I'm going to take my campaign hat off for a moment, and I'm going to use my analysis skills. I'm going to use the professional skills that you trained me for, and I'm going to warn a few people in this audience, and I know this is going to be hard-hitting, but I love you, even though I'm angry with you, okay? You political elite in this room, you big money political operatives in this room, I'm advising you as your analyst, as your professional warning about advocating for no endorsement at this convention. And I know you're out there, and you know who you are because I can see you're already scared. Your plans to manipulate the delegates and lie to them, and with your ill-gotten agendas. If you do this, you will be supporting the continuation of the agendas and policies that got us where we are today, and we are in big trouble here in Minnesota. Do not forget where the Minnesota GOP ended up at the end of 2 terms with Tim Pawlenty, nearly bankrupt, a chair that nearly went to prison for financial issues, and a debt that we're still having to recover from, and thank God Jennifer Carnahan is here, that we're still trying to cover from today. The disrespect demonstrated by the elite, and they have been projecting their will over the people, is in direct opposition to the intent of the rich grassroots heritage. Just stop and reflect on the results of the last several election cycles. Have the political elite been correct? No. Has the press been right? No. Fake press, yeah. I don't think there is such a thing in Minnesota anymore. I lost my place because I'm so emotional now. I want to thank all of you delegates. I think what I was thinking of is the fact I wanted to share a story with you, but I'm looking at the clock, get distracted. My stories I'm not going to share right now. Maybe I'll get a chance to share it with you when I win. A personal story about why this grassroots delegate process is so important and why 80% of you in this room know I will defend this process. I will defend you. And I don't even think it's 20%. I think it's about 3% of the room that's fighting against you. I will back you up, and I got your back, and I'll take that 3% on any day. I want to thank the executive committee led by Connie Thorpe and all Team Parrish. I may be biased, but this is the most effective and efficient team running in the nation as far as I'm concerned. Amen. You've already entrusted me with very serious responsibilities. I've already been serving you with honor, courage, and commitment. I am asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to trust me with the authorities to protect our citizens, our Constitution, and our great state, Minnesota. Put me in office and turn me loose on the swamp. There's a reason why the social media, as silly as it may sound to some of you pundits, social media have been calling me the swamp hunter for quite a while. As cute or as silly as that name may sound to some of you, I can assure you they started doing it because why? Because they knew what I was capable of. They know what I'm going to do. And they know that I'm going to find, expose, and remove the swamp critters here in Minnesota. I'm going to close this up with one thing that I really want you to hone in on today. I've been expressing a vision of a unified convention for more than 18 months now. Everybody in this room that's heard me speak, Mary and Jeff, who I have a deep respect for and have earned their trust, and they've earned my trust. I've been speaking about this for 18 months, a vision of two top candidates coming together at some point and coming out of this convention ready to win. I realize that my personal vision of what that looks like may not fully be possible. However, I promise you, if you endorse me, both of my fine competitors will be asked to play a key role in helping to govern the state of Minnesota. Now, I know I've been holding you in suspense on social media, and I know I've been holding you in suspense out when you've been asking me questions, but I'm going to ask you to hang tight. For those of you desperately wanting to know who my LG is, I ask you to hang tight. The majority of you are going to be very, very happy when we win this endorsement. I'm Phillip Parrish, and I want to be the next governor of Minnesota. Thank you very much.